Hello, we are once again back. This is going to be the match of the week for King's Court Pokemon League, week number 6. Joining us today here is my lovely co-host, kyrogeniz. Say hello.
Afternoon.
And this week is going to be Nathan versus Doopy Gap. Looking up at the two teams here. On the side of Nathan, we have a bit of a balanced team. You know, some nice defensive pivots, but also some potent offensive threats with the Hawlucha and the Mamoswine. Facing up against Doopy Gap. Once you summarize
I'm not sure how to archetype this one. Like, I want to say it's an offensive team of subvariant between the Blaziken, the Greninja, Raging Bolt. Probably has a bulky Lando T and Trapagos, and then the Jirachi Cheese, of course. I would say he has a pretty good matchup with most of these mons. Raging Bolt really only gets walled by one mon on this team, being Mamoswine. And even then, you can just drop a Draco on him. But I'm excited to see how this one goes. Nathan's been having a tear with that Tauros. Terra normal body slam's been going crazy every week.
Yeah, notably one of the most threatening Pokemon in this, like as far as lower tier Pokemon go. One of the best bang for your buck kind of Pokemon. Terra normal body slam, as you said, absolutely tearing up teams. I think one thing to note is Blaziken looks very scary here if you're on the side of Nathan. Once he gets a Swords Dance up, it's going to be really hard to stop, especially since +2 Flare Blitz is going to be tearing through your main physically defensive Corviknight. And after that, you know, there's not much stopping him from tearing through your whole team.
It is going to be quite difficult. The only answer really is a Hawlucha Unburden.
Yeah,
speed it, right?
Just
like
have
focus
to go above it, yeah.
But we can see I can see the full set to this Pokemon cock right now. It's a Lychee Berry Hawlucha we're looking at.
Is that real?
It's real. Like I'm looking at the FizzDef Corviknights with this is a Rocky Helm Lando. It's quite the matchup we have here. Double banned on Nathan's side.
It's gonna be a great start from Doopy here. Starting off with the Lando, reading that Tauros lead, gonna force him out, and he's gonna be able to get up rocks here. Maybe keep up momentum with U-turn. Let's see if Corviknight goes for the counter U-turn. Try and keep up some of that momentum. It's either a
U-turn or a defog here, right?
Yeah. I think if you're going for the defog here, you're really happy to see that.
Oh.
But it is gonna be the Iron Defense. Maybe potentially an answer to this Blaziken, as could 1v1 it in the long run.
Oh, I'm pretty confident he can just body press twice here and win that.
Yeah. Brave Bird potentially, if that's one of his moves.
Quite a good read on his half. Just sit there and Iron Defense up, because really the only special mons that can threaten it are Bolt and Greninja. Worst case, you just switch out on them, right? Like there's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, Raging Bolt is gonna have to come in here if he wants to force this thing out anytime soon. Could look to paralyze it with Jirachi, which in the long run could cripple it, but
absolutely,
as of right now, you don't have time to mess around with Jirachi, I feel like.
No, he can just start body pressing up. If you're unlucky, his Iron Defense is again, excuse me. But he does switch out to the Jirachi.
Gonna do a hefty chunk, 34. Notably, not a lot of Jirachi sets can recover well, but it's gonna be the Reflect. Not really a set we usually see coming out for this Jirachi.
That's very intriguing.
There's that paralysis. Gonna be very helpful. Probably means he's not gonna lose the game to this Corviknight. That Reflect also meaning that he's not gonna be doing a ton of damage. I'd imagine Raging Bolt can tank 1, maybe 2 of these body presses if he just hard switches into it.
I'm pretty confident he can get one healthily.
Yeah.
Not an issue. Just switch U-turn right into it.
This Reflect gonna be doing a lot of work. Goes into Landorus, which is interesting.
Mirror Armor.
Mirror Armor's itself, but it is Rocky Helmet. Stone Edge doing 4%. And again, I mean, he might be forced to roost here, which could get his Raging Bolt in as he goes to Terapagos.
An interesting switch, and
yeah,
I'm not sure what the goal is with this one.
I mean, none of these are going to be able to force out Corviknight.
Absolutely
has
not.
To be Raging Bolt.
Oh, a Flamethrower!
Even this is, I mean, going to do 42.
He's going to lose the Roost War. He can sit here and burn it, I guess, but He's hoping for a Paraflinch, which is definitely the Doopy way. RNG will carry him.
I feel like you're very nervous to just click Roost here if you're the side of Nathan. You know, one Paralyze here, your Corviknight's gone.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, so it's not a fantastic situation to be in. Once this Reflect is gone, you're going to be doing quite a large amount. But
I'm interested, but what is happening?
Wow, playing for this Rocky Helmet chip.
Okay.
And he's going to be able to roost back up here. Stonehenge doing absolutely nothing. Maybe hoping for a crit through this this 4x defense, but so far no good. Especially with the Intimidate coming down on Landorus himself. Not going to be doing anything without that crit. So
right.
Yeah.
I'm very confused that Raging Bolt hasn't come out at all yet.
And now that Reflect is gone and Corviknight is set up even more. So you're really just hoping for either some crits or some paralyzes if you're on the side of Doopy here. This is turning really bad really fast. Again,
Absolutely.
There is still that Raging Bolt, which I'd imagine would force out this Corviknight, but he just seems reluctant to bring it out this early. Maybe it's maybe he doesn't want to blow the booster energy, but at this point you kind of just have to rip it.
Hey, it's not even booster.
Yeah, comes out on the defog. I'm surprised this is a defog set, but Raging Bolt is going to be able to probably threaten out this Corviknight. See what he goes for.
Oh,
Goes for the Calm Mind. Because he does eat one, but I guess it works out now as Corviknight goes down. And now this Raging Bolt is looking to be pretty threatening with the boost up.
I'm pretty sure Mamoswine can here. I'm pretty confident about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think +1 Draco might kill. I don't know the speed tiers of both these Pokemon.
Usually Calm Mindsets don't go Draco is the thing.
Yeah.
They usually go Dragon. And I'm pretty sure this Mamoswine will outspeed it regardless.
That's fair.
So.
It is the faster Pokemon. Ooh.
Ooh.
Blocks the Intimidate, and the Icicle Crash picks up the clean KO.
Nasty.
Yeah, you don't see the Oblivious coming in through a lot in singles, but it'd be very crucial there.
Good prep done by Nathan so far.
Yeah. Curious to see what he goes to next. This Mamoswine is very threatening to the entire team. Even that Greninja is not going to be loving it. Might have to be the Terapagos. Just looks to try and threaten it out with the Greninja. That Stab Water, gonna be hard to switch into.
Hydro Pump is a hard ask for anyone on this team right now. Something might just be getting sacked for that.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the 4x resist on the Flapple, but again, that Ice Beam is potentially following it up, and that will be a clean Oko no matter what.
It will.
Tauros here, again, being threatened out as it is revealed to be Battle Bond on the Greninja.
Unless this thing is Scarf. This Tauros has no business here.
Yeah, there's a world where you scout this. I think you want to play it safe. This is looking like your main win con. Try and get the Greninja in, get that Battle Bond evolution off, and get the sweep from there. And I think that's a pretty solid game plan. If he stays in here with Tauros, you have to imagine it's Scarf or it's just a really hopeful roll or something.
Absolutely. Probably one of the ballsiest plays ever, because I'm pretty sure the speed tiers do not line up. Greninja should easily outspeed this.
Greninja definitely outspeeds, and he is going to be getting this evolution. It is a very threatening Greninja. Going to be threatening Okos on the entire team now. This might just be the game on the spot.
What is the response to come out here?
Flapple notably can Terra, so depending on what Terra he has here, could potentially live a hit from Greninja.
Air Fire.
Goes for fire, resist the ice, only takes 47. But he misses the grab apple, that hustle. Bites him in the ass there, and the Surf is going to be able to take it out, and that is probably just going to be the game right there.
I have to believe it. Like this, where's the comeback from this?
Nothing is going to be able to eat a hit from this +1 Greninja. E-Speed does take it out, though, and that makes a glimmer of hope for the side of Nathan.
It's not doomed yet. Hawlucha is the best win con left. The Blaziken is still incredibly threatening here.
Blaziken is scary, but again, could see that Hawlucha sweep, but I mean, with Jirachi being somewhat healthy, it could be kind of hard, especially since Reflect is going to put in work here. Only
Yep.
physical attackers on the side of Nathan.
But there's
So,
the Lucha. He's going for broke.
yeah, but he's going to get Thunder Waved here as a response, unless it's Lumberry.
It could...
Oh, the
encore!
Encore!
Ooh,
Gonna be able to
nasty.
set up for as long as he wants on this Jirachi. But notably, the Thunderclap is, I'd imagine, threatening, if not an Oko, a lot of damage on the side of Hawlucha.
Interesting, straight CC. Oh, the white herb. Okay, I see the angle here.
Yeah.
Now
Gonna be
Acrobatics
faster
should be an
now.
Oko.
Acrobatics does kill Blaziken from this range, I believe. And Hawlucha is starting to be very threatening.
Now the question is, does he stay in and SD on it, or does he just go straight for the throat? Because SDing here almost guarantees a win, right?
Maybe. I'd have to imagine. Unless... Well, Thunderclap is always scary, is the thing.
True.
And there's no outspeeding that. So... that is a big ace in the pocket of Doopy here.
Oh.
Goes to protect,
the read.
SD's up, and Hawlucha is still going to be faster. And now it's threatening the entire team with an Oko, except maybe Jirachi, and maybe that Raging Bolt. Depends on how heavily bulk invested they are, but it is still looking pretty scary. There could also be a world where Hawlucha doesn't finish the job, but it sets up one of these last two remaining Pokemon to try and clean up. Especially,
Ante's no joke.
yeah, that was... I think that was banded damage off the E-Speed.
Absolutely. I mean, he switched out. He would have just clicked a fire move on Jirachi, right? Like, he had to be banded.
Yeah, yeah. So, potential banded Flare Blitz endgame or something of the sort, you know, Mamoswine. Also very threatening here. Not the fastest mon, but then still can get it done.
It is the answer to Raging Bolt, right? He just sits there and eats every day of the week.
Yeah. I think there might even be a world where you just switch out Hawlucha after, if it takes this KO, wait these Reflect turns out, you know,
Yeah.
and go hard into Mamoswine, because it's still going to be faster than the whole team. You don't really need Unburden anymore, especially after this Blaziken and this Lando and this Greninja go down. Does go straight to the Jirachi on the Acro, takes 19. I don't know if this is in close combat range.
It is a roll, I believe. So this is a light clay Jirachi we're looking. It could absolutely kill. I think it's a non-favorable roll, excuse me, but
Yeah.
does he want to risk it for a T-Wave?
Thunderwave would mark the end of this Hawlucha virtually, but
It does outspeed still, because it'd be halved. But once Blaziken gets a protect up, it just speed boosts sweet, right?
yeah. Again, you don't want to mess around with this Blaziken. I don't believe it's in E-Speed range quite yet. Maybe after one hit, but hey, you never really know. I don't know that calc off the top of my head.
No, I can't say I know that one either.
It is becoming a really dangerous, like, tiptoe of an
goes for it.
endgame. As the Thunderwave does connect, close combat not quite finding that roll, and now Hawlucha is in a lot worse shape than it was before. Acro still does pick up the KO there. He's gonna have to break through from this paralyze if he wants to try and come out on top of this endgame.
That's the only avenue here, right?
Yeah. Notably, Reflect is going to be down for good after this. So, I mean, Raging Bolt at half HP, not going to be too threatening. Earthquake is going to be...
He's clicked EQ forever here, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a very dangerous click. Maybe Terapagos is able to live too here, but it's not even close.
Nah.
And Mamoswine's just going to claim a KO here, and probably...
This looks like a Mamoswine sweep, right?
It might just be a Mamoswine sweep.
I mean, like, he's gonna protect on this.
If
There
they're
has to
both
be a-
max speed, it is a speed tie. Have to imagine the protect is coming out. Close
Speed
combat
boost.
might kill from this range.
I think it does.
I believe it does, and
Oh!
that's gonna be the clean Oko coming out. And now, I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
he doesn't
Entei
Oko
boosts
Entei
this.
though. But
I mean, ooh,
But
stomping tantrum.
Thunderclap is always the concern, right?
Yeah. I mean, surely it chips it enough for a Thunderclap.
It might
right?
be, okay, if Raging Bolt is in E-Speed range, you always just E-Speed twice here, and then
Ooh.
you win out. But if it doesn't, I don't know how you win this.
Bandit E-Speed's not enough for Raging Bolt.
Goes for the Protect here. Let's see what he movie locks into. It is going to be that extreme speed. Maybe hoping for a crit, I think is... If it doesn't kill straight up on the Raging Bolt, that is going to be your win con. Hoping for this crit on the Raging Bolt Thunderclap.
It's the only way.
Or, sorry, on the Raging Bolt before he goes for Thunderclap. Does he get it? No, he does not, and that is...
Wait, it fails!
Oh! Goes for Thunderclap here, and now it's in this range of the second E-Speed, and that's going to be the game going to Nathan. Game 1 of this series, and an insane endgame.
That is insane.
Tiptoeing around threat after threat after threat, and unless we see an insane roll here, this is going to be the Game 1 going to Entei here. Wow. Crazy endgame. You don't see that interaction a lot. Sucker Punch going under a priority attack and failing.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I for sure thought he just clicks a move there and wins, but wow.
Slight misplays like that can cost you whole games sometimes. Very sad to see if you're on the side of Doopy Gap, but that is going to be Game 1. We're going to have to see and wait and see what adjustments you make if you're on the side of Doopy Gap here. Interestingly enough, I don't really know what stands out as a change. I think you kind of like all your mons here. I don't know if you make any individual Pokemon changes. If I'm on the side of Doopy Gap, I'm changing some moves, maybe some spreads, and I'm probably calling it a day. Again, that game is so close. It's hard to blame. It is hard to blame prep going into this game too. But
I mean, that's Rapico's set. We only saw the flamethrower, but I am very confused at why that exists.
Yeah, I mean, that was an extremely close game 1. So I'm expecting very little changes, but you never know. Sometimes you just gotta mix it up. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see going into this Game 2. Okay, and we are back once again with that Game 2 for this match of the week. As we said, no Pokemon adjustments going into this game, but you'd have to imagine there's been some changes here and there. So, curious to see what we get into, as the leads are going to be very different from last time. This Flapple facing off against the Terrapagos. Curious to see what this is going to do. U-turn misses into a Calm Mind.
Oh my goodness! What is this? That's not Zoroark!
No, that is not. I mean, U-turn breaking this, breaking the ability of Terrapagos is going to be very nice once it connects. We do see another Hustle Dip. It finally connects. Let's see who he goes out into.
How do you threaten it? Tauros, probably, right? You'd think? Maybe Entei?
Maybe. It's probably going to be Tauros. Just hit it as hard as possible with a physical attack.
The only scary thing is something's going to be eating that exact move.
Hera Starstorm coming out, getting the Halucha kill in one fell swoop. And as we saw last game, that was one of the most threatening mons on the side of Nathan. So, I mean, fantastic start for Doopy Gap here. And, I mean, he almost has his ability back up at that full HP threshold.
Yeah, what really can come in and threaten this mon, though, is the thing. Like,
yeah,
surely it's Corviknight. That's the only one.
I think Corviknight does that, though, in the long run.
Do you think so?
I think so, yeah. I think Flamethrower is going to be picking up a clean 2-hit KO at this range. And, I mean, Body Press is not going to be doing much.
But yeah, Flamethrower is a clean 2-hit KO. It was like 43 last time.
Yeah, and that was unboosted, so.
I mean, Mamoswine can't really kill it, though.
Yeah, I think if I'm Nathan here, I just go out to my Tauros, I Terra Normal, and hope it gets me there. Again, he doesn't have that Terra show up, so no resistance. And
there he is.
That might just be exactly what he's going for here.
Maybe it's the Terra Normal Terra Blast, or Terra Ghost Terra Blast. Haha. Oh, it's Terranormal there. Oh,
Paranormal
okay.
CC.
Interesting click.
But Tauros might just die to this with the
Yep.
Lord Resistances, and this turtle is a menace. Just going crazy.
I've never seen a Tacropagos do so much work without being stellar. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, you typically think of this as more of a defensive mon. You know, gets that rapid spin niche, but I mean, it's just going insane here, leading off and getting 2 KOs in the first 3 turns.
Absolutely
Flapple
unheard
coming
of.
back up. You never love to see this guy coming out as your last bastion of hope.
I mean, it's got to be an outrage, and hope you don't
Yeah, I mean,
hustle up, right? Like,
it's gotta be, you gotta pray you're not hustling up here. You don't love to see Flapple as your last line of defense.
oh, it forces it out though.
Yeah, goes for that
No.
outrage. Misses.
No.
This is not, I mean, I've seen this Flapple out a lot, and it does not love Landed Move. Let's just say that. The Reflect probably going back up here.
Yep.
Yeah, just same set as we saw game 1. Forced out by the Mamoswine here, potentially. Does have that Lando, potentially, but again, is threatened by that Ice Stab. Mamoswine going to be threatening anytime he comes out here. He might just value damage on it here with the Jirachi.
Right. I don't know what else really wants to take a hit from this thing.
Yeah, it's pretty scary to face
Even
down
behind
this
him
Mamo.
left.
Goes to
Gonna do the
Greninja on the Ice move, gets
Oh,
the critical hit,
nasty crit.
but still lives half. He does
Oh, he flipped it
22.
twice. There he goes. The Battle Bond's coming in hot.
Yeah. I think something to note is that was a Scarf Mamoswine, no? Able
It
to
had to
outspeed
be,
that
right?
Greninja. Yeah. But Greninja now in E-speed range. Probably just gonna play it safe. Go out into this Landorus, I'd imagine. Get that
Yeah.
Intimidate off.
Guarantees Greninja lives. Oh, Jirachi
Goes out
taking
into
it.
Jirachi on the E-speed, taking 5. Now threatening T-Wave to the whole team. Gonna be very crippling.
Yeah,
It goes out into Corviknight, tanks the T-Wave, gets that paralysis off, and now curious to see what else this Jirachi could pull out. We saw his moveset last game, but again, could go for a lot of changes here. Maybe there's a fire move on it. He goes straight into that Terapagos. Going to be threatening that Flamethrower, and I don't believe Body Press kills here as we see the full para.
We'll never know.
Yeah. May never know, as Body Press only does 27, and Corviknight is now in Flamethrower range, and it's gonna go down again. Reflect, not on the field anymore, as Entei comes back out, threatening another KO.
This is really a Turtle Terry sweep this time around.
Yeah, I mean, Terapagos is putting the fear of God into Nathan this game.
It finally goes down.
Claims the KO.
The demon's down.
Yeah, the demon is indeed down.
But don't look at the rest of his team.
No, do not. There's a couple options. I mean, Raging Bolt is very threatening here, especially since you know it's locked into Sacred Fire, and there is that Raging Bolt.
Sit here
Maybe
and calm mind
threatening a
up.
KO or a boost even, yeah.
So if I'm him, he has nothing that can resist it, so I would just calm mind up. Oh, Draco
Just
comes out
drops
hot.
a Draco, gets at the, it's the clean KO, and now this Entei is forced into one move and one move only. Let's see what that's gonna be.
It's gonna be Sacred Fire.
Sacred Fire,
no!
Thunderbolt comes out, does 30. And honestly, this, even with the special attack drop, this may just get 1v1 by the Raging Bolt here.
Oh, it absolutely will. Look
Yeah.
at that
Oh, and
my
the
God,
critical
crit!
hit just finishes it off, saves us some time.
Jesus.
And that was an absolute dominant show from Dubigab and that Terapagos there. Putting in a lot of work. Claiming multiple
insane.
KOs. Yeah. That was an extremely dominant comeback after going down 1-0 in the series. And I guess we're just, I mean, potentially going to have to wait for adjustments.
We're
Again,
gonna see him change here.
yeah, I think, I mean, obviously we didn't really see how the Flapple should have gone down in theory, but it was just such a non-factor that game. Even with the 2 misses, it just didn't feel fantastic. That feels like a potential avenue for change.
Really, we're bringing a fairy type here, though, right?
I think that is definitely an option. If you're Nathan, I think there's also an avenue where you just chop that up to sloppy play. Again, that Halucha going down, turn 2, never what you want to see. That's one of your main win cons. You know, there's a couple options here, so I'm curious as to what he goes for. Do you have any input besides that fairy type that you said could be very good here?
I think Suicune could be pretty decent here too, instead of the Halucha, if we want a more consistent way to try and wall break, but really, you have nothing to need a Draco. It's very difficult. Greninja battle bonding, if he gets it off, it's kind of doomed.
Yeah, I think Suicune is definitely an option here. It's pretty much the only thing that can live 2 hits from a Greninja. Nothing else on this squad really wants to do that at all. And you just have to try and hope it's in E-speed range. You know?
Not fast.
A Greninja behind Reflect is going to be absolutely terrifying. So maybe Suicune here coming out. Again, that does make you a little weaker into that Raging Bolt. But there's just not a lot you can do into that, to be honest. Maybe changing up this Mamoswine set. You have a couple options at your disposal. So, we're just going to pause it here and jump right back into this video once we're back with Game 3. Alright, and we are now back with the concluding game of the series. After an exciting comeback from Dupigap in Game 2, an absolute dominant showing, Nathan storms back, notably with a big change on his side of the field. That Fairy type, Tinkaton, coming in over Corviknight. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the Tinkaton. I think it could do a lot of work, especially if you can mono Fairy type it, but losing Corviknight for it was not where my head was at. If I was Nathan, I can't trust that Flapple anymore, man. Mango the Buster's gotta go. I would've kept Corviknight in over that.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Corviknight's pretty nice here. But I understand not wanting to double down too heavy on field types.
The Blaziken would sweep the Earthquakes. It wouldn't hit Corviknight unless he's roosting, but...
That Fairy typing is going to be very nice, again, versus that Raging Bolt. Saw last game, Draco Meteor threatened a lot of his team, especially since Corviknight's under a lot of pressure. It's eating a lot of paralysis.
Right.
So, yeah.
I would be intrigued to see a Limber choice item Halucha here.
Yeah, that could potentially put in work. As we
And
see the
off the
Light
Spike
Clay getting off the field, that's going to be very nice. As you can see, only physical attackers on the side of the field for Nathan, so this Reflect
Big
is
Encore.
going to be big. Encore putting in work, and we already see this Tinkaton really getting a lot of value here, getting up rocks, knocking off items. It's going pretty well on the side of Nathan so far. I think you're pretty happy to get that Reflect up, though, if you are Dupie.
Absolutely.
At Nathan's.
Really, the onus is now on Nathan to read what's going to come out here, right?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to over-predict it, or is he going to go straight for an answer for, like, the Landorus, or the Greninja, or the Blaziken even, which... I'm not sure which mon kind of bunches all those together. Maybe you just go Flapple and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, safest answer from Dupigap is definitely the Landorus. I think Raging Bolt's not too far behind that, but if it is that Fairy Stab over Gigaton Hammer...
A bold switch.
Yeah, it could potentially go Gray, but Greninja gonna come out and get knocked off, so no more Life Orb. I believe, depending on the move here from Tinkaton, it could threaten Greninja in return. Again, probably not going to be taking much from that Gigaton Hammer if that is the last slot, but a potential Thunder Wave could be very scary here. Gigaton Hammer comes out, does 11, but Greninja not doing much in return. So that's one of the upsides if you're on the side of Nathan.
Oh, a nice Encore.
Coming out. Probably going to be Flapple coming out.
Absolutely.
His only water resist, so...
He gets a free Flapple, and then assuming he gets to keep momentum and doesn't miss with Hustle, he's
Nice
gonna get a good U-turn out. Yeah. I like the play from Nathan so far. This Tinkaton really is putting in work. If it was T-Wave like you said, that would have been so nasty.
Yeah. There is gonna be the Flapple though. Probably seeing a U-turn coming out here. You know, 80% chance to have
the
nice
U-turn or
momentum here.
Outrage, right? Those are the only options.
It'd be pretty bold to rip an Outrage right here, but
It would.
I would respect it.
I mean, there's no resist, so it could just click.
Yeah. Jirachi, but I can't imagine. It's a pretty passive set.
Yeah. Just to come in and put up Reflect again in front of that, right?
Yeah, which I think you'd like to prevent. But, I mean,
U-turn's
U-turn's
probably
very
coming
safe
out.
here.
And if he does decide to stay in with the Intimidate's useless now, he just U-turns out on it. Oh, we
Just goes
outraged!
for
He
the
ripped it!
outrage. He rips it. Gonna do 51 to the Lando and threaten it out.
What a beast.
Yeah, wow. Gonna continue on this rampage, even with the -1. Gonna do a lot of damage to
To
Lando.
anything that wants to come in, honestly, like, that's...
U-turn
Oh,
does a fat chunk, but does survive. Jirachi comes out,
he will get a screen up here for this.
gonna eat this pretty well, 18%, but the outrage does end after 2 turns, meaning while Reflect will go up, Flapple may just live to see another day.
Well, until it decides to get sacked. It's
Well,
basically the ideal situation for Nathan here, right? He gets a free switch, saves his
Yeah.
sack on Reflect.
Yeah, I think you're very happy to save this Pokemon as your sack. You know, as I said last game, it's not really the type of guy you want to be sending out when the world needs him most.
I fully agree.
Ironhead coming out instead of the Reflect. Tauros Earthquake
Oh!
potentially threatening. Does Reflect, so not going to be able to T-Wave. We did see that Ironhead does do enough damage to KO though. So
Tauros is in a pretty good situation. He clicked twice.
yeah, Tauros is pretty happy here. Gonna be able to get 2 attacks off for free.
I'm pretty confident Earthquake 2-hit KOs this, even through Reflect, so
I-
Jirachi really
I
can't
think
afford
you
to
might
stay
be
in.
right. You know, unless this is max Jirachi, at which point
Right.
I'm very scared. But this Terapagos does get its ability eaten by the rocks there, but behind that Reflect only does 12. Gonna have to pull out
Wait
that
a
normal
second.
stab.
That's not sheer force. It took Life Orb damage.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
Wait a second.
that is interesting.
Perhaps a mistake, but what is he cooking?
It's gonna be a
It's
lot of
Anger
damage.
Point.
Oh no, it's cause sheer force doesn't proc on Earthquake.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's
that,
why.
that makes sense. Oh, it's only secondary effects, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, but Terra normal body slam is gonna be doing a lot more damage.
Terapagos honestly could get 2 hit by that. Maybe 3, depending on how bulky it is, but it was
Yeah.
a calm mindset last
If it's
time.
very physically bulky, which you might expect from a calm mindset, there's a world it lives to. But that Terra boost, that stab boost, and that sheer force boost are all gonna come in, do a lot more damage than this Earthquake. So we're just gonna have to see. You want to keep clicking buttons here with your Tauros. You're not really gonna get a better opportunity than right now when it's behind that
Absolutely.
sub at 32. Not the bulkiest mon. Probably not gonna get more than maybe 1 switch in. So
May as well just rip it, honestly.
yeah.
Curious how Terapagos is going to answer, though. With Calm Minding in front of it's not going to work out.
Yeah, you
Maybe he
don't-
gets the spin off.
could be a potential spin. You don't really want to mess around and try and calm mind in front of this thing. Behind that sub, it's going to just kill you.
Right. Now if you Calm Mind, you're effectively taking 3 turns to kill it. That's not a good look.
It is not. Be a long time to think about
Ooh, a
this turn.
CC.
Close combat does come out, super effective, but is eaten pretty well by that Terapagos. Just see
Another one
another
comes out.
CC come out. Tauros is sacked. Gonna go down here.
Rest in peace.
But that big threat from last game is pretty low, and Reflect is coming down. And as the game goes on, Jirachi is gonna get a lot less opportunities to come in and put that Reflect back up.
Absolutely. And it will not have that light clay on it. Oh, a good burn.
Burn, but a lot of damage in return. Gonna be able to threaten this Terapagos in return though. We don't know the set. Last game it was choice banned, but has
It could be
potential to
something
change it up
different.
here, yeah.
That's looking choice.
That
Unless
was a
he's
lot of
bluffing it.
damage for a resist.
That does look choice, though.
Emma Swine coming out here.
It does not eat a Draco.
Code by the Draco. That is a very offensive Memo Swine. Could be a potential Halucha here. Try and threaten this, but
That was an intriguing switch.
Mamoswine is one of the key Pokemon in this match, which you don't really want to see this go down.
You would think that'd be a bulky offense switch in there. You could just switch Tinkaton, right?
Yeah, I think you're happy to see Tinkaton. Maybe not happy, but you would prefer it to go down at this point in the game.
Oh, he's gonna rip an Outrage.
Gonna rip an Outrage once again.
I could feel it in my bones.
Yeah, or go for a potential U-turn.
You could go for a U-turn, but Nathan, he's feeling the
Outrage
pressure.
is a lot funnier. Like,
He's
I'll give you
feeling the
that.
pressure.
Outrage is way, way funnier.
Because Thunderclap shouldn't kill.
Let's see what he goes for right here. Gonna be the
there it
Outrage,
is.
and it's gonna connect and kill the Lando.
Oh, baby. Flapple's putting in some work today.
Flapple? Hey, he was messing around the first 2 games, but this game 3 he has come to play, and he's giving Nathan a fighting chance. He's locked in. I will tell you that much. He is very much locked in.
Mango is here to play, baby.
Yeah, that's why they call him the GOAT. Right?
The only concern I have here is real. Actually real. Is that this Greninja probably outspeeds it.
Yeah.
And a free Battle Bond's looking very likely here.
This is looking like maybe the freest.
This is where you bluff the Terra, right? And you just don't hit it. You just let the Outrage go through and he overdicks and clicks like Surf, maybe, you know? That's the only angle. Oh my goodness,
faster,
he outspeeds
and Outrage
it!
connects.
It's gotta be
That's
Scarfed.
gonna be Greninja going down.
That's gotta be Scarfed.
Dude, this Flapple is a menace. He is not messing around this game.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, it's
Mango the GOAT.
clawing back into this game. You see, it is still going for one last turn of Outrage. So if it is in
it
range of
lives!
Thunderclap, but it lives
Oh!
and takes out
Mango the GOAT.
Wow. Even
Right.
Intimidated just breaks through.
That's insane. Surely he just sacks it here. Like, Flapple, you've done your job.
Yeah, you don't really want to give this guy a free turn of setup, but
He gets
this
one.
goes for that Outrage again. Maybe hoping he die in confusion there.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
I think he breaks through confusion here. If he breaks through confusion,
goes
double
for the
protect.
again.
Oh, there it
Dies
goes.
to confusion. Gonna be +2, outspeeding the whole team. There's no unburden boost on that Hawlucha yet, but
That's what he CCs.
yeah, I don't know if Hawlucha's in range of a Flare Blitz.
I don't know, honestly.
And all of a sudden, this Hawlucha is looking very threatening as it does hang on. Gets the
Oh,
burn
the
though. Let's see
burn.
if that lives the acrobatics. It does.
The
But
burn
that
was huge.
might be an E-Speed range. We're gonna have to see. Bandit E-Speed did a lot to Greninja. Blaziken noticeably a bit tankier, and also is going to be healing up with that lefties every turn. That burn might just be the game.
I think it's an E-Speed range here. I am pretty confident about that. I think it's 50%.
Yeah, no
He
protect.
needs to get double protect. He needs
Yeah,
double protect.
Might need to go for this double protect depending on how much damage this E-Speed's gonna do here. Does have
Oh
that
my
Tinkaton to
goodness.
reset the choice band after this as well.
Oh, this could be a really hype end game.
Yeah, this is looking very close suddenly after that.
I mean, wow, Flapple. I can't get over it. I
Flapple
can't.
went he was going in. Rachi
E-Speed
on the
comes out.
E-Speed opts to drop the speed boost.
Straight into Tinkaton. Good play.
Bring Tinkaton.
Oh, the Reflect is up. That makes it live.
Fleck comes out on court here, and now you just go for a knockoff here? I think you just might. I
Just
think
keep clicking, I think.
you just keep clicking knockoff. It's not gonna do much to Blaziken coming in, but you know it's gonna take rocks damage. It's not gonna get that lefty's healing.
Exactly, and it'll stall the Reflect turns out
Yeah,
as long as
the
it stays
reflect
here.
turns going down. You're very happy to see that go down.
Since there's no like play, even if he encores him again, he can just hit a move that doesn't hit too hard, or just click rocks to waste an extra turn and keep
Yeah.
it there, force a switch. And I think Nathan has an upper hand here. As long as he can get Blaziken in without a screen, I think it's pretty won. Or if he can get that lefties knockoff. Oh, here it is.
I think something to note, he does still notably have Terra, and this Tinkaton is Terra eligible. So, I mean, he doesn't really threaten him very hard with moves, but gonna be the Earthquake coming out, getting the clean kill, as Reflect does go down. But
No lefties. E-Speed just wins out here, right?
if it's in Jirachi range, maybe. I don't know how much damage it does to the rest of the team is the concern. Obviously, Terapagos and
Terapagos is
Jirachi
dead.
both very low.
Tropicos dies for certain.
Yeah,
They
I
should
think it's
Oko.
mainly that Jirachi.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if the Jirachi threatens it in return. Ironhead, not going to do much.
No, it's fine. Oh, we clicked Sacred Fire. Intriguing.
Oh, but
I don't think he wins this.
I think Earthquake takes out Entei from
agree.
this range.
Intriguing situation.
Earthquake
Yeah, that's it.
Does take the game, and that's going to be game 3 and the series going over to Doopy. So well played. Very nice to dig himself out of that hole after going down 0-1. Anything else
Very well
you'd like
played.
to highlight before we send off?
I would say they both played pretty well. I think Nathan got a little screwed over by a hustle in a couple games, but it really came down super close, super clutch. Well played from both coaches.
Yeah, that was very nice. Flapple, notably making an appearance after not doing much the first 2 games. So well played to Doopy there. One of our playoff front runners. So very nice for him to pick up another game here. Kind of
Absolutely.
almost certainly secured that spot going into playoffs. So there's gonna be more of
Pretty
him to
very
come.
close.
Gonna be a familiar face come playoffs. So that's gonna be it over here at King's Court Pokemon League. This is our week 6 match of the week. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.